Hello, my dears. So, this is Marie Roslyn from Phoenix YouTube channel. So, in our channel, we are looking into the testing concepts. We have seen various phases of software testing. Now we are in the test case design phase. So, earlier to this video, we saw the concepts of equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis. So, how these two are related to each other, which is a very crucial technique in a test case design. So, today we are going to see about the test scenario template and the test case template, which we are going to use to design the test scenarios and the test cases. So mostly the test cases are designed in an Excel because we already have the comfort of having the rows and the columns, because we need not struggle for uh, jotting down that. Few clients are specific in creating the test cases in Word document also. So in that case, you have to proceed with your Word document. For example, I would say the project which I have come across, which required a validation testing for a pharmaceutical company. So that particular client was specific to create the test cases in Word document, and we had to create, and we also had to write the actual results in hand, and we had to post it. So it is kind of that for a FDA approval. So if that is the case, then you have to go for a Word document, but mostly it is with the Excel. So let us discuss on the software now, the template that is used to create the test scenario. So first of all, your column is going to be about the test scenario ID. Maybe you can have a serial number before that. It is up to you, but it always starts with the test scenario ID. Again, I'm reiterating, it is not that one specific hardcore template that is used against that is used in all the organizations. That is not the case, because it depends on every organization. Every organization would be having their own templates, but the columns which we are going to discuss in this video is the most commonly accepted template. All right, so the test scenario ID, this is something specific to the test scenario to identify the scenario very uniquely. This is something related to the roll number that we possess in our schools, and in colleges we have our department IDs, and in organizations we have our associate IDs. So every ID is going to be unique to a person. So same way, every test scenario ID is going to be unique for every scenario. So this will help you to backtrack when you raise a defect against a particular test scenario or a test case. So that is going to be your first column. The second column is going to be your test scenario description, where you are going to write the description of the scenario. So in one of our earlier videos, we discussed on the difference between a test scenario and a test case, where the test scenario being the higher level or the big picture, and the test cases being the drilled down detailed steps, right? So the test scenario description is going to be your second column. The third column you can have is your requirement ID. Let me tell you why we have this. Okay, so we already discussed on what is a requirement and what is done in a requirement analysis phase. So every requirement document is going to be having a set of requirements, right? So every requirement is going to have a unique ID. Let me tell you, for example, take a bank. Okay, you are going to deal with a bank application, and the bank name is ABC, for example. Okay, I'm sorry. So uh, it's ABC. All right, yeah. So ABC being a bank, and that bank is going to give you the requirements. So ABC is your client, and they are giving you the requirements. The requirement would start like this: say ABC underscore, it's going to be 001. Same way, ABC underscore 002 for the second requirement, and so on and so forth. Say you have till, for example, let us have till 5. All right, so this 1 2 3 4 and 5 are going to be your major requirements. Okay, so maybe this one requirement itself could have a subdivision. Consider that. So maybe it could be like ABC underscore 001, and maybe it could have a partition A. which is going to be the subdivision of your first requirement. And same way, it could have another subdivision of your first requirement. There is another, no, a minor requirement for that. There could be one more too. It can be anything. So it has something like this. So these are going to be the requirements ID. So this can be applicable for 2, 3, 4 and 5 as 2, 3, 4 as well. So now imagine maybe this requirement 1, the subdivision B, has another minor partition. Okay, say a Roman number 1 for this, and even B has one more as Roman number 2. Alright, so if it is this case, then the requirement IDs will just continue like that. So you will have major requirements, you will have minor requirements or the subdivisions. Under the subdivisions, you might have little more detailing requirements as well. So whenever you go on with designing your test scenario, you will have a difficulty to understand or to make sure that whether you have covered all the requirements, because there are so many subdivisions, you have divisions under the subdivisions. So to make sure that you have covered all your requirements and you have created scenarios, you have designed scenarios for all the given requirements, you can have this requirement ID column. Again, it's an optional one. Okay, if you want, you can have it. It is good to have feature, but again, it depends upon you. If you're no damn sure that whatever you're doing, you are covering all the requirements, then it is well and good. But in case if you want to make sure, then this column can be added to this. And one more thing, you have this requirement matrix, okay, where requirement traceable matrix, which we call as RTM, which is an exclusive document where we are going to map your requirements against your test scenarios, your test cases, and also the defects. So that document will make sure whether you are created everything. But to identify whether you have missed a scenario or not at the end of creating an RTM, you can make sure by adding this column here. So your scenario document is going to be very, very simple. As I told you, if you want, you can just add one more column here, maybe when starting, just to have a serial number if in case if you want it, but this is again optional. So only these three are going to be your crucial columns for your test scenario document. You're going to have a test scenario ID, your test scenario description, and the requirement ID for which you are creating your test scenario. So next one, let us see for our test case template. So same way, just start with your serial number. Again, it's an optional. Then you should have your test scenario ID. Let me tell you why. Okay, so this test scenario ID is again here, and test scenario description also you're going to put in here. And then comes your test case ID. So now you might have a doubt, no, since we already have one document called as test scenario document and we have given these two columns, and why are we again putting it here? So few clients accept the test scenario document as a separate document and a test case document as a separate document. So in that case, you have to create two different documents. And one more thing is that the test scenarios are something that you're going to create as the first phase. Alright, as soon as you get your requirement document, test scenarios are going to be the one which you're going to create as the first part of your test design, and then only you're going to drill down and into the test cases. So you have to design your test scenarios first, and you can share that with your client, get it approved, and then you can move on with your test cases. And why is these two needed? Why are these two needed as in the test case document is that because you should have a reference. You can't again go refer back to your test scenario document and identify, okay, this is the test scenario and I'm going to create the test case for this. That is going to be little tricky. So you can add these two columns in your test case document itself. Okay, so that is why we are adding these two columns. Then we have the test case ID, then we have the test case description. All right, so the positive flow or the negative flow which you're going to test. So this is going to be your test case description. Then you're going to have your test step number. Okay, don't worry, we are gonna master in all these things. Maybe the first time when you look into it, it will be little tricky. that should be fine. Then you have the test step description. Okay, so you have described your test step. Then you will have your expected result, which is the actual expectation of your application. You have your expected result. Then you have the actual result column, which is going to be the result of after you execute that particular test step, actual result. Then you're going to declare whether this is a pass or a fail, whether this test step is pass or fail, whether this test case is pass or fail. Then you have the comments, if any. Okay, so this comments, it could have a developer's comment or a tester's comment, or it could have the defect id, or it could even have the client's the review comment. So whatever it is, you can have anything for that matter. So these are the columns which are included or which are expected to be present in your test case document. All right, so now let us conclude this video here. So we have discussed on the columns that are expected to be present. So once again, we'll just go through. So serial number, which is going to be optional. You have your test scenario ID, your test scenario description, your test case ID, test case description, test step number, test step description, then your expected result, actual result. Based on the actual result, it's a pass or a fail. Okay, if the expected result and actual result are the same, then you will have a pass. If it is different, if they both are contradicting each other, then it is going to be a fail. Then you have your comments. So having said that, in our next video, let us discuss in detail of how to create a test scenario and how to go about creating test cases from the test scenario. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep supporting Phoenix YouTube channel. Please subscribe to this channel so that you will get your updated testing videos. Be a phoenix, fly high so that no one even imagines to touch you. Thank you so much. Have a great